Welcome to Dancing Through It with your host, Leslie Cooney, the podcast where we share honest conversations about passion, perseverance, and the power of movement. My guest this week is Shawn Byfield. Welcome to this week's episode of Dancing Through It. I am your host, Leslie Cooney, and today I feel extremely honored to be chatting with Shawn Byfield. Hi, Shawn. Welcome to the show.
Hello, Miss Leslie. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for inviting me to be a guest on this.
Of course. I was very excited, and I'd reached out to you and then also found out through a mutual friend that you had chatted and had talked about both of you being on the podcast. And I was like, oh, this is lovely. This is what the dance community is all about, is this interconnectedness.
Right. And I love how it's really, there's the 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon.
Yeah.
We are that, but it's more like 3 degrees of separation in our dance community. And I love that.
Yeah, it is nice. And when you can view it through that lens, it feels easier to reach out to folks when you know, or you can say, oh, I think we both know so-and-so, or, oh, we both attended X event or what have you, because it is a smaller community. So it makes it, I will say, for me, it's really nice because when I reach out to folks, it doesn't feel quite so awkward. It's still a little awkward. But not
like,
bad.
Hi, I know you don't know me, but would you like to hang out and chat sometime?
Truly.
And
Yes. It always feels a little bit intimidating, but then you meet the folks, or you get, you have a couple emails or whatnot, and then you're like, oh, you're just like a regular person. This is going to be great.
Funny too, because we're in society now, people are afraid to say hi.
Yeah.
Just to say hello, walking down the street or opening a door and, hey, how you doing? And everyone is just like, oh, they're caught off guard when you just say hello. Yeah. Can we change that? Can we normalize just being humans and just say hi?
Yeah. It's also really fun as a human who does that. Like, I am a human who will smile at strangers or say hi, or I love to compliment folks just like randomly. And the pure shock and then also joy, you just made an impact in that person's life. And then you just get to go on living, and they just have a little sparkle as they continue. And that's, I don't know, it's kind of fun.
I'm a huge fan of giving people their flowers, like the flowers behind you. Yes. So don't stop giving people flowers. Don't stop saying hi. Don't stop encouraging. Don't, and a little thing goes a long way, because you don't know, that person could have had the worst morning.
Yes. Yeah.
And then you come along and say, hey, I love your sparkly shoes. They're so cute. Yeah. And now someone recognized me. Right? Yes. And then you just move on. Have a good day. See you later. Peace.
Yeah.
Right? So let's celebrate all the people. Celebrate. Yeah. Right? I'm all about celebrating. So
I love it. That confetti just made my day. Oh my gosh. You guys, this is going to be so fun to watch. I just added another level. But this really brings me to sort of the first thing that I wanted to chat with you about. There's 2 phrases you use to describe yourself. And I was like, oh, I want to get into this because it resonated with me. One was the fun dance authority, which I was like, hi, hello. Mm-hmm. And the wired encourager. Can you tell us what the wired encourager, what does that mean as a definition for yourself, or something that you use to describe yourself?
I find that it's the best question ever, because here's why. Dancers tend to take things so seriously, and they get so down on themselves.
Yeah.
Right? We can be our own worst critic. And a lot of times we don't have people who are just in our corners saying, come on, let's go. You can do this. I believe in you. And I've been that person since I was a child. So I know that was always in my DNA. Right. Fast forward to now being a dance coach. It makes sense for me to start and lead with encouragement instead of, here's what you're doing wrong. Here's what we need to fix. Here's the problem. No. How about, oh my gosh, let's celebrate you for a moment. This is great. You showed up today. High five.
Yeah.
And that's not me putting on an act. That's just I love life. I'm very grateful to be alive and doing the things and being in this field. And so I start with the happiness and the joy, and I try to lead by example with the encouragement side. So that's why the wired encouragement is literally in me. So if anyone who's watching this and they're wondering, hey, is Shawn reading a script or putting things? No, I, we're in dance. Like we don't have the newt codes. You know what I mean?
Yes.
There's no
Yes.
reason for us to not be encouraging each other.
Yeah.
So there you have it.
Yeah. That's so it's so lovely for me to run into folks who have a similar like modus operandi in terms of this is dance. Like we got so lucky to have this burrow into ourselves, and then now we get to share it with folks. Like I'm like, I could be working in an office somewhere and I don't have to because I'm living my dream job. So yeah, taking things a little too seriously is never, I mean, there's hard work to be done, but it's also like we're really living the dream. Like you say, not everyone is wired that way. And it's
That's true.
clear that that's something that came, you recognize from your childhood all the way to now. So can you tell us a little bit about your dance journey, just speaking of childhood, and how you got to where you're at right now?
Absolutely. I was a hyper child. That's how I got into dance. I was the boy that would run around and bang on stuff and
Right.
drive my mom nuts. I saw Gregory Hines perform when I was 6 years old on television. And that was the moment that literally changed my life. It just takes one person, right? Or
Yep.
one moment, one
Yep.
thing. And I remember to this day so clearly sitting in front of the TV, and Gregory Hines walks on from stage right, does his tap thing for 3 minutes and exit. And as soon as he was done, I turned, and my mom, I remember her standing right here behind my right
Yep.
shoulder. And my mom froze because I guess that was the first time I ever was still. I don't know. And I turned to her and said, I want to do that. That
Right.
was it. Changed my life forever.
Oh,
So I ran into the studio, started with tap dance, then jazz. 2 years later, ended up jumping into the modern, and I'm talking modern, like Graham modern. This
okay.
is before contemporary,
Yes.
modern and ballet, because I was actually an awkward kid. I was pigeon-toed and had gangly, terrible arm. I didn't have the poise and the posture. I
Right.
had great rhythm, but the technique wasn't there. So my studio owner at the time said, listen, if you want to continue doing this seriously, we need to put you into some ballet and correct your posture and fix your turnout and all these things, which totally worked for me. As a young one, I was like, oh, I have to take ballet. Do I
Yeah.
need to take ballet? And but then I saw the changes, and so that kept me going.
Yes.
Fast forward, I ended up taking classes downtown Toronto. I was really inspired by taking some summer camps and dancing in rooms with older dancers, and
Right.
so that pushed me. And then fast forward, I fell in love with hip hop. I started teaching hip hop, and to start teaching hip hop is so new. I literally knocked on studio doors to introduce myself. Hi, this is going way back to the
Yes.
pioneering days in Mississauga.
Right.
Nobody was teaching hip hop classes. So I was the kid. I started in my studio. I had three dancers in my first class, and
Yep.
then that program grew over years. I remember teaching at other studios, just saying, hey, introducing myself. I'm Shawn. I see you don't have hip hop here. I was the go-getter, I would say,
Yes.
for my age, and started some hip hop classes at different schools. Fast forward a few years, more people wanted to learn. I would get people teaching my classes for me so they would grow. And
Yep.
yeah, and then I got into film and TV. I worked at Canada's Wonderland for 4 years. It was amazing. I was a dancer there. I went on a cruise ship for half a year, which was a wonderful experience.
Yeah.
And I recommend everybody at least do one cruise as a dancer or a performer, singer, actor, whatever it is, at least one because it opens your eyes up. You
Yeah.
get the travel bug and you
Yeah.
realize this art thing, this world that we're in is global. There are other
Right.
people on the other side of
Right.
Earth that love this as much as I do.
Yeah.
it's the best thing ever. And
Yeah.
then I started teaching more, started judging competitions and festivals, doing choreography. It's like one thing led to another. And
Hmm.
then the day came when I realized my voice. I love coaching. I love talking. I
Yeah.
love teaching. And because I was a wired encourager in my dance classes, the next evolution for me was to get on bigger stages and share that to inspire not 5 or 10 people in the class, but to now encourage 50, 100, 500 people in a room. So that's what I started to do more of. And I found the coaches and I invested in myself and I became a certified public speaker. I became a certified leadership coach. But it's so worth it now because I feel like I have a different awareness and understanding of what drives people, what
Right.
really makes people go, and appreciation for the craft, appreciation for our voices. And I think dancers need more people like that who are willing to take a chance on themselves, knowing that they can encourage and maybe inspire someone to also do the thing. And like I said before, it just takes that one person, right? So
Yeah.
I knew Gregory Hines was that one person for me. Maybe I'll be that one person for somebody. I have no idea, but I'll never know if I don't try.
Exactly. And I don't doubt that I'm sure to many people, you have been that one person. I call it the ripple, throwing the rock into the pond. The ripples that go out, like really do go out. So I don't doubt that just based on who you are and like what you do and how you do it, that you are that Gregory Hines to someone else. I mean, also Gregory Hines is like wonderful, and like how could you not be inspired by seeing him on TV?
Right? Thank you. Thank you
So
for the
phenomenal.
compliment.
Yeah.
And I got to work with him, which was wonderful.
That's
I
incredible.
did some workshops with him. That was the first experience. I auditioned for the movie Bojangles and I was in.
Okay.
I was on cloud 10.
Yeah,
Just
I wouldn't be able. I think I'd be frozen. I'd just be
yeah.
like, oh no, what? There would just be such a swirl of emotions.
I was taking the first workshop ever that I've had with Gregory Hines. This
Yeah.
was at Randolph Dance Theater back in
Okay.
Toronto.
Yes.
And the studio was on the fourth floor, I remember. So I'm taking this workshop. It's myself, Ryan Foley, and
Okay.
Linda Garno. Okay,
Oh, okay. I know
thumbs
all
up
these
to my
people. That's
friends.
so funny.
Okay, thumbs up to my friends. Shout out
Yeah.
to incredible teachers and choreographers.
Yes.
And we're in the elevator. We're gonna go upstairs. The elevator door closes, and all of a sudden, a hand does this, and the door opens. Who walks in? Gregory Hines.
Get out. Get out.
And so Ryan and Linda, both know I love this man. So they look at me like, he's here. Oh my gosh. And so I don't know. And the door closes. So the four of us, it's a tiny elevator. So the four of us are standing facing each other, and I'm not saying anything. And so
No.
Gregory, being the humble human that he is, says, "Hey, I'm Gregory," and turns to Ryan. And Ryan
Get
says, "Hey, I'm Ryan. I'm excited." He says, "Hi, I'm Gregory," to Linda. And Linda says, "Oh my gosh, hi, I'm Linda. It's so nice to meet you. I can't wait to dance with you." And then he turns to Shawn. "Hi, I'm Gregory." And nothing came out of my mouth. I was so starstruck.
of
And then
course.
he looked at me like,
Are you
is he okay? Is he mute? I don't know. No
right?
judgment. And then the
Right.
door opened and he walked out. And we're in the elevator and they both look at me like, "Why didn't you say anything? I was like, I don't know." And then of course, 5 minutes later, I'm in the studio holding my tap shoe, shaking, trying to tighten my tap.
Of course.
And I can't. I was like, "Linda, can you help me?" And Ryan was like, "Buddy, get it together.
Right.
Get
Oh
it
my
together.
gosh.
You're
That's,
okay." But
oh,
I was completely just in awe. And he's a normal human, like the
of
rest of
course.
us, right?
Yeah.
And you realize that. So when I did end up working on Bojangles, being literally in the same room side by side and watching him make a mistake and turn to me, "Hold on, hold on." He stops everybody. "Hold on, Shawn, how does that step go again?"
Get out
Well, I was like,
now.
"Well, let me show you. This is Gregory. It's the
I
best
don't know
thing."
that I could trust my brain in that moment. I feel like you shouldn't be asking me at all.
Yeah, it was the best thing ever. But yeah, that's a
Oh,
reminder for all of us. Just we turn on Netflix and we see these actors and dancers and singers. They're humans. They go through classes and they train
Yeah.
and they make mistakes and they fall down and they get back up again.
Yeah.
And the only reason they're where they're at is because they've fallen down more than we have and
Yes,
they've picked themselves up more than we have. That's it.
exactly. Yeah. Yeah, it is. It can be difficult to reframe, working with folks who we've maybe, put on a pedestal because, like we say, we see them in Netflix or they've done this or they've done that. But the starting journey is often so similar, right? Like you start dancing as a kid and it burrows into you, and then you just keep putting one foot in front of the other, and you end up where you end up. So yeah,
Hmm.
to reframe, they are just really normal people, but they are pretty exciting as well. Something else, I mean, clearly you're so eloquent, and that comes with confidence. And like you've shared, you did the work, you've done the public speaking, you've done the coaching, which helps you learn how to do that. But it's clear that this confidence is very easy, I will say. And something we had discussed talking about, which again, I'm very selfishly, I will say, I wanted to get to this topic because this is something that I've always struggled with, is how to build that confidence in dancers. And maybe I wouldn't mind us talking maybe a little bit more about how to build confidence as a teacher,
Hmm.
because it is it is tricky and something that comes with time. But do you find that there are tools or maybe practices that teachers can use to build their confidence in the studio?
Okay, so you have a few questions in there, which are awesome. So how do I have tools? So first of all, let me just do a quick shout out. There's one tool right here. This is for dancers. So we'll
Yes.
talk about that later. You came to
Yes, yes.
slay.
Well, I
That's my
definitely
book,
want to talk
okay?
about that for sure.
Another tool, and I don't want to, be the guy that's plugging, but I have a course called the Dance Teacher Playbook.
Okay.
And the course is designed to help studio owners and dance teachers elevate their thought process and to be more confident and be stronger leaders in communication in the studio. And a lot of times they don't know what to say or how to move in the room. So I actually recorded a whole program on that to help them and also to help their dancers discover their confidence, if
Right.
that makes sense. So
Yes.
dance teacher playbook, that's something. Um, but how to help teachers or dancers?
I think teachers, I think, would be helpful. And again, I'm being quite selfish, but something you mentioned was the confidence in communication, which feels like a key piece of the puzzle. Because I think teachers feel relatively comfortable
Hmm.
in the studio setting in terms of,
Hmm.
teaching the dance. Do you
Okay.
find that it's more of a communication challenge in terms of building confidence with teachers and studio owners?
That's a great question. And I'm going to bluntly say no. Here's
Okay.
why. I
Yeah.
think I'm a big believer that you become the sum of the five people that you spend the most time with.
Right.
You become a product of your environment.
Yes.
As a teacher, we forget this sometimes because then we just tunnel vision on, I just want to do choreography. But then you're only in choreographic mode and you're
Mm-hmm.
not in the mode of how do I continuously grow and be energized and inspired.
Right.
So I suggest one is to find the other people that are like-minded that will help you to stay elevated. If you're hanging around with people who are draining, who are vampires, who are just sucking the life out of you, you struggle because, and then you go to the studio, you wonder, like, why am I so tired? Oh, well, because I was just spending 3 hours with such and such who all she did was complain and moan and whine, and I'm constantly putting out fires and boosting her up, and then your well is empty. So I'm a huge fan of find those people. It may take time.
Yes.
Second thing is you may need to eliminate people from your life. That's the harder one. Their mindset is still on the let's go party, let's go do the things that aren't going to help me energize or
Right.
uplift myself or my
Yes.
family or my community. You're gonna have to make the hard choices to sit down and let some people go. That's just the way it is. We're not meant to be around the same people forever.
No.
We all evolve, we all grow, and we all have different paths to follow. And some people are in our path for a season, a reason,
Yeah.
or a lifetime. And you
Yeah.
have to find those lifetime people that will inspire you to continue doing what's best for you, what's meant for you. We all have different blessings. So that's number two. Number three is in order to build the confidence, teachers need time for themselves. And I'm a big believer in this resting, self-care. We have this big industry now that's growing about self-care and
Yeah.
wellness.
Yeah.
And dance teachers, many of them don't take care of themselves. It's
Yeah.
just go, go, go. I'm going to teach as many classes as I can because I'm broke and I need the money. So let's
Yes.
go.
A
But
hundred percent.
guess what? You burn out. I've been there. I know exactly what that feels like when
Yeah.
I've had my breakdown. I've been on the floor crying, I'm like, oh my, I'm not happy with doing that. I'm doing too much. I'm not making enough, like whatever it is, right? I've been injured because I just kept going and I'm doing too much. I need to
Yeah.
take a break.
Yeah.
And when you start feeling all these things weigh you down, of course you're not going to be as confident in the classroom because the second part of your brain is saying, oh, well, I just want to sit down. I just want to have a nap. I'm
Yeah.
hungry. And you've got all these competing thoughts now. And then you wonder why your dancers aren't performing to their fullest. Well, it's because you aren't performing to your fullest because you didn't take a break.
Yeah.
You didn't take the weekend off and
Yeah.
chill out. It's okay to rest.
Yeah.
We do need to remember that we're humans and sleep. Remember that? When
I
you'd
love
put your
it. It's my
head on
favorite.
a pillow and you'd close your eyes. You wouldn't get your phone and you would actually sleep.
I do think that there is something about, ooh, spicy hot take here. There is something about this sort of false badge of honor. And I won't just say it's for dance teachers. I think it's a cultural thing of I'm so busy.
Yeah.
I'm so stretched thin. There's this weird morality value judgment because I'm so busy, or oh, I only sleep however many hours a night. And I'm just like, that is not the flex you think it is. I mean, not to me. I'm like, my
Yeah.
flex is that I'm gonna sleep for 9 hours. That's my life affords me that. But like I also know that I need it because I'll be a nightmare if I'm not. But
Yeah.
I feel like there's this weird idea in the culture that being so busy and stretched thin is, yeah, this badge of honor, something to be admired, something to work towards.
This hustle mentality.
Yeah.
If you want to succeed, you got to hustle. You got to
Yeah.
grind, right? You got to go and do it again. And no, we are, as humans, we're energetically charged,
Mm-hmm.
right? Energy is real. I
Yep.
believe this. Everything is made of energy. And sometimes you need to plug in your battery. You need to
Ooh,
charge yourself up,
yes.
right? When my headphones will lose battery if I
Yep.
don't recharge it, if I don't plug it in.
Right.
We're the same. All the technology that we have needs to be plugged in, and then we forget we need to be plugged in too.
Absolutely. I love that metaphor. You got to plug yourself in. It becomes a vicious cycle. And we
Yeah.
see that, right? Like especially in
Hmm.
a job that is so seasonal, right?
Hmm.
Like there's very specific timelines and, September through December, I always think is like the workhorse months where we're like really like getting the information. And then we get into the second half of the season and then we're into competitions and that's a whole other ball of wax. And then, you've got,
Hmm.
if you're a studio owner, your registration and you're trying to fill summer camps and that's your summer. And then you're making next year's, it's just like, you've got to find the moments to plug in because it'll
Hmm.
just keep pulling you.
Yeah. Going back to the confidence part,
Yeah.
I just feel like I feel like your mind just becomes more alert when you're recharged and you're rested. And now you can walk into a studio and feel like $1 million and everyone will feel that energy, right? They'll
Yeah.
say, okay, Leslie really believes in this routine right now. We're gonna crush it. Because
Yeah.
nobody wants to let you down. No one wants to let
No.
anyone down. But if we're like, okay, I'm tired today. Well, you've just set the tone for the rest of your class. And
Yeah.
then your confidence wavers because they're not working as hard. And then you start doubting yourself. Well, was it something I said? Was it something that I did? Do they not like the choreography? Are they not liking me? Do they not like my
Ooh,
jacket? What is it? Like all these things start coming into your head
yeah.
because you didn't rest. You set it up in a way that wasn't going to serve you or serve them. So that's where I'm coming from. The rest is real.
Yeah.
And I think more people should take recharging more seriously to help them elevate their confidence in the classroom. And then as a leader, people start to say, oh, I want to be in that person's class more, or I want to hire that person for my
Yeah.
competition, or I
Yes.
want to have her speak at my event or whatever. That now series of events starts to raise your confidence even more because you're realizing other people see me. Okay, I'm
Yes.
doing something right. And immediately it's your actions now that are doing this loop, right? And you will fall down, right? You will mess up. Gregory Hines messed up. Maybe that was the one time ever when I
Yeah.
saw it in real, I don't know. But you learn from that and you
Yeah.
continue moving forward and you move forward faster and you realize, oh, that momentum is real. I feel good. I feel energized and other people feel it and they want you to do more. And it's the cycle of just fueling itself. It's great.
It's so funny that both of those cycles, both burnout and also the confidence loop, as long as you can maintain it or find the ways that you can keep yourself in the confidence loop and then growing, like they're the same, they're the opposite sides of the same coin essentially. Just
Mhm.
depends on which side you want to plug into.
Yeah, or flip. And I like that phrase in the you should patent that, the confidence loop. I
It's
like
true
that.
because
Yeah.
if you can get it rolling, it does like as you say, it does project out, and it's like attracts like. We know this, so that's truly science. As much
Hmm.
to my chagrin as I maybe don't want to talk about science, but
Oh, I
like
love talking about
attracts.
science. Let's get into it.
My
Neuroscience.
engineer husband is like, none of what you're saying is true, but it makes sense for the dancer brain that I have, my limited science. But that like attracts like is true. So what you, however you want to phrase it, the law of attraction or whatever, but what you put out, if you can maintain that or find consistency in that for yourself, it
Hmm.
draws people to you and it keeps those people happy and excited, exactly as you said. And then you are getting, booked, you are getting hired, you're being seen,
Hmm.
which is so validating. And I think what most folks are really looking for,
I
like
love I
full
love all of
stop.
this. I'm absorbing all of this. This was just like a life lesson for me and for everyone listening right now. I think we should be gathering info from more sources in this dance world. We
Yes.
get stuck in just dance in the small bubble.
Yes.
The reason, and going, I'm still sticking on this confidence.
Yeah.
I'm processing this. The reason I feel I have more confidence than your average coach, teacher, is because I don't immerse myself in competitive dance circle bubble. I'm
Right.
learning about life, about things, about travel, about places, about food, about different businesses and what other entrepreneurs are doing, what other speakers are
Mm-hmm.
saying. I'm reading different books. And that is now expanding. So now I take those lessons and then I apply those things to a coaching session that I'll be
Right.
doing or to someone that I'm choreographing. And I'm now not just teaching them about dance, I'm teaching them about something new, about
Yeah.
life, about musicality, about expression, about connection with an audience. That's a whole topic right
Yeah.
there, too. And that helps me to build my confidence more because I've exposed myself to different things and I know I can now speak on a different level than the average choreographer or
Right.
coach.
Right. Yes. And I think you bring up a good point, and it's so funny. It sort of circles back to where we started with, where we were talking about how our community is relatively small, or, we're only a few degrees separated from someone. While that is a blessing, it can also keep us a little bit insular and not looking out for other ideas or ways to do things. And it can just keep us sort of, I always say we've got the horse blinders on sometimes so that we don't get spooked, but we're also missing out on things that we could apply if we take that bit of information and then twist it and be like, how can I put this
Hmm.
onto my situation in the studio or choreography or adjudication or what have you. And I think that it really brings up a good topic in terms of opening up to what else is out there and what else we
Hmm.
can learn and then applying it to our field.
You said the key word twice. So
Yeah.
that's how I know I want to bring it up. The key word you said twice was apply.
Oh, right.
Apply. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
because a lot of us spend so much time consuming and not doing.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Listening to someone, taking advice, saving a quote, and not actually applying whatever it was that we
Yeah.
consumed in real time. So I'm a huge, huge believer in learn as much as you can, as fast as you can, but apply the notes, do something with it.
Yeah.
When I had my studio in Toronto, I remember when I had my speaking coach with Paul Toby, shout out Paul. I would then that night, or if I had a weekend seminar, I would then that week apply the different strategies on how to control a room in my classes
Right.
right away, like the next day.
Yeah.
I wasn't dicking around. I'm like, I'm here to learn and grow and inspire other people, which means I need to put myself into an uncomfortable kind of training environment first, and then I need to be awkward and try
Yeah.
something and see what happens.
Yeah.
That's how programmers make apps
Yep.
and things like, they type in some code and they watch and they see what happens. And then they learn from that. And immediately they type in new code and they see what happens. They're
Yeah.
constantly applying the things. Maybe dancers should hang out with more programmers to boost our confidence because
Yeah.
programmers, they don't care. They're like, I'm just going to try something and see, and I'll stay up all night and let's just try this thing and this code. And oh,
Yeah.
that didn't work. Great. Let's try it again tomorrow. Let's do something. Let's start fresh because they're not afraid to take risks and take chances on
Right.
themselves. And they've put in the hours to just keep trying the things. We could learn a lot from that field.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a concept that's come up, which I'm so grateful for across a few guests of let's experiment. Like this is the lab to figure it out and making it okay to fail,
Mhm.
essentially, which I do like that does feel like a bit of a culture swing in terms of dance, that we are taking a little bit of this experimentation, try this, try this, try this. Because like you say, not only is it gonna improve how students grow, but also build that confidence because they don't see that failure, that first try as a failure, right?
Can
Like
we jump?
they'll just go on to the next try,
Can
essentially.
we talk about the confidence of our teens for a moment?
Yes.
We're in a different, it's a different time now. It's a different generation now
Yeah.
where there is so much judgment and competition and comparison culture that is real. It's real. No matter what we say, it's real. It's a thing. They're on their phones or they're in the studio and, they're looking at someone in the mirror. And you can see when they're judging subconsciously. They might not intentionally be trying to do it, but it's just the culture has
Yeah.
to change. And I think more studio owners and teachers need to be aware of how to recognize that just by paying attention. And then what do you do? Right?
Yeah.
Like what do you say? Because you have to teach differently now.
Yes.
And a lot of what we do is not about steps, it's about building the human inside. I'm all about you build the human first and the dancer will follow. So 3 to 1, that's the ratio, 3 to 1. You need three positive somethings and then the one, whatever the constructive criticism. And I
Right.
like to do the sandwich approach.
Yeah.
So, for example, Stacy, oh my goodness, you're so much more focused this week. There's one.
Yeah.
Two, I saw how you crushed your double pirouettes. You only had the single last week. Okay, and now you've got the double. Two, great. Let's now work on your spotting because I can see sometimes you're just kind of you're not spotting. You want to be sharp with your head as you turn around and you do and you show the demonstration. Okay. Okay. There's the constructive criticism. And then at the end, I know if you've practiced your spotting in 2 weeks' time, you're going to be crushing a triple pirouette.
Right. Yeah.
3-1.
Yep.
That's what they need now, psychologically,
Yeah.
because they dwell on the negative. Because society dwells on the negative.
Right.
Society is always looking to see the worst in people, to watch people fail, to tear you down.
Yeah.
They're always looking for the hero to zero story. Their brains are saying, I want to put her down more so that I can lift myself up.
Yeah.
Where did that come from?
Yeah.
Like we could probably have a whole other conversation just on that
Oh,
alone.
yeah.
So I know you and I we're trying to do the best we can with the tools that we have, but it's a hard conversation, and a lot more teachers and studio owners need to be willing to recognize, okay,
Yeah.
listen, I need to spend more time in my classes to just check in,
Yeah.
to start my class, say, hey, okay, we're going to have a 1 minute check-in. How are you for real?
Mhm.
What's
Yes.
going on at
Yeah.
school? What's going on in your brain right now? On a
Yeah.
1 through 5 scale of focus, where are you? And
Yeah.
they'll tell you. I ask these questions for real, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
And and they will tell you, I'm a 2, I'm a 3. For me, there's no perfection. There's no perfect.
No.
We're artists, okay? Everything is subjective, and we're all sensitive about our crafts.
Hmm.
So there's no perfect anything. However, I'm curious, if you're a 2 out of 5, what could you do differently today, right now? What could you change to get you to a 3?
Yeah.
Just
Huh.
moving up the ladder, not
Yeah.
trying to get you all the way to the
No.
5, but what could you do to move you up?
Yeah.
And let them answer, let them think about it and say, okay, well, if I stop eating Doritos, great. Great. Let's put
Yeah.
down the chips, put the
Yeah.
chips away.
Please don't bring
Okay.
McDonald's to the studio every
Right.
day. I wonder why we're not feeling like we want to do Petite
Right.
Allegro today.
Right. And then now you're at a 3.
Yeah.
Just one change. Okay. And then next week, let's work on something to get you to a 4.
Yeah.
Or next class, let's work on something to get you to a 4 and then to the 5, right? It's stages, but it's one thing at a time. Now, that was not the way it was 20 years ago or 30 years ago, where it's like, get it together and focus or you're out.
Yeah.
If you're not here, where are you?
Yeah.
Tough combos, but
It is.
needed
Yes.
conversations.
Yeah.
And I encourage anyone who's struggling with that, with their dancers right now, to just take a step back and realize we're not just dance teachers. We're not. We're not here to just teach a bunch of steps. So for us now, yes, we could teach steps, but there's so much more from us,
Mhm.
which also leads to the burnout we were talking about. The
Yes.
teachers that do
Yeah.
realize like it's exhausting.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're drained and you haven't even taught anything yet.
Yeah.
And we're
Man,
feeling the energy of the room too, right? Like you walk in,
that's
what it's like. You walk into a
huge.
room and you can feel everyone is stressed or they're tired, or you can feel
A
that.
hundred
That's
percent.
and that's the energy is real.
Just in terms of talking about teens, you walk into your teen class and you can feel, and you're like, okay, I got to try to be a kindness bulldozer. And that takes a lot out of a person in that 1 hour, hour and a half class to be like, okay, guys, like trying to turn the tide of a room of 12 hormonal
Hmm.
teenage girls in a ballet class is like, it takes energy. Clearly, like, one, you have so much wisdom to share, and I knew this was going to be phenomenal. And I feel like every time I talk to somebody, my soul is filled and my cup gets filled very selfishly. So I hope that folks that are listening also feel their cups being filled. But
Thank you.
before we head out, we have come to the lightning round, which is
Wait,
not a lightning round
wait,
at
wait,
all.
wait. What do you
Wait,
mean? What
wait,
do you
wait,
mean?
Shawn says.
Wait, we can't end our combo now.
Oh,
We're
no.
just getting started.
I also don't want this to stop, but I also do have some burning questions that I need answers to.
Okay. Let's do
One
it.
that I will start with, because I do know that you also adjudicate, which means we have some early mornings. Folks who know me know I'm not a morning person, but we also know that dance teachers have a caffeine addiction, we might say. So, Mr. Shawn, what is your go-to coffee order?
My go-to coffee order is not coffee because I don't drink coffee.
Okay.
So I am actually more of a smoothie person. I'm a booster juice guy.
Okay. What is the booster juice
Yeah, booster
order?
juice would be a nut and better with only chocolate almond milk and an energy booster.
That sounds delicious.
Yes,
I
but
am
not to
a
knock Starbucks because Starbucks has some
no.
great.
Just to
But
each his own. You're
also,
not the only non-caffeine, non-coffee drinker that we've interviewed. Oh, I'm
okay.
curious to know if there has been a piece of art or an artist. And when I say piece of art, it can be like a television theme song, a score, a painting, a performance piece, what have you. I don't want to box that in.
Mhm.
But has there been a piece of art or an artist that inspired you to create a piece or does continue to inspire you today?
One of my favorite places on earth is Florence, Italy.
Oh,
And within Florence, Italy, there is the Galleria. You
yes.
walk inside the Galleria, and that is where the legendary sculpture of the David
Yes.
stands. When I first saw that, my jaw literally hit the floor. But
Mm-hmm.
it's not the sculpture that inspires me. Here's the thing, it's the story behind it. Michelangelo saw this giant slab of marble, and he said, I already saw David in the marble, the bluffs. So I just had to free him. And then we now have that, that amazing sculpture
Yes.
of David holding the slingshot.
Yeah.
That has inspired me, that sculpture, that one story, to now see the David in every dancer that I choreograph. And everything that I create is based on them. It's not me coming in with preset, here's the dance, learn it. I learn about them. I see how they move. I see how they feel. And then I create based on that artist. So it's an artist sculpting another artist. That's what inspires me. It's the Michelangelo's David.
I always say these lightning round questions. I'm like, they're selfish in that I'm really just curious because these are things that either I sure feel strongly about or I'm a snoopy little investigator. I like to
Love it.
know about folks. Um, oh,
Hmm.
if you could only teach one style of dance for the rest of your career, what are you teaching?
This is always a hard question,
I
and
know.
it would be tap. It would
Okay.
be tap dance because that's what started my whole dance
Right.
journey. And the love of music
Yes.
combined with the love of dance and percussion is all in one with
Yeah.
tap.
As someone who is not super immersed in tap, I recognize how much there is to learn within that style and how long it takes to master. So
Oh my
there's,
goodness. And the learning never stops.
yeah.
It
So it
never
would
stops.
be a fun thing to teach for a long time because there's just always new discoveries and things to figure out.
However,
Yeah,
in your defense, every discipline of dance, there's
that's
always new things to
true.
discover
True.
and new people inventing and more history of whatever it is. Like there's so much in this.
Yes.
We will never,
No.
ever know it all. Okay.
Bringing back to music, again,
Okay.
one of
I'm
my
listening.
favorite questions to ask folks. Do you have a song that if you are not having a great, you're not feeling you're wired to encourage yourself, or maybe at a two, is there a song that you can turn on that can turn your day around or that will get you grooving, that will help you move up one level?
Wow, one song. It's okay. Here's a random song, but
Yes.
not random, but it always pumps me up.
Okay.
Ladies' Night by Kool and the Gang.
Yes.
Ladies' Night, something about the chord structure in that in the
Yes.
second half, that
Love it.
chunk
Yes.
energizes me
Man.
all the time.
I love that I'm really grateful that's a Cool in the Gang, like a funk Motown, because mine
Yeah.
is, as folks will know, mine is September by Earth, Wind, and Fire. I was born in the wrong, I'm just a little too late to the party, but
Oh
that's all
man,
right.
that's my era. Let's go. Funky stuff all day.
Okay.
Okay, I'm
Second to
listening.
last, penultimate question,
Okay.
which can be,
I love the fact that you said penultimate.
oh
Do you
yeah,
know that's not a word that people use anymore?
no, but which is
But
why I
it's I
like to
know what
use
it
it.
means. Yeah, the
It means the second
second
to
to
last.
last. And I only learned that word 2 years ago. What's
Yeah,
penultimate?
the
See what I mean? Like I'm
penultimate.
always learning, and now I use it. And you're the only person I've ever heard. Oh, sorry, you're the second person I've ever
All
heard. So
right.
yeah, we need to celebrate that one.
Is there, I call it the ugliest thing, but that feels a bit aggressive. Is there a
Okay.
less than attractive personality trait about yourself that you recognized through dance, or that dance maybe shone a light on of, oh, I need to be aware of this part of my personality that could be my like villain origin story sort of thing?
Yes.
Okay.
And I had to work on this.
Yes.
This was, and I'm much, much, much better, but this was the old me interrupting people's conversations,
Okay.
not allowing people to finish their thought. You know, we have this thing in our brain that wants to connect and relate to somebody when they start saying, "Hey, I went to the baseball game the other day," and you're immediately thinking, "I was there too." And so you now chime in. That wasn't your role. Your role was just to listen and let the other person express and have fun and And then after, oh my gosh, we and I, we left the same baseball team. But I used to want to finish or interrupt subconsciously people's sentences. And it wasn't until I read
Yeah.
The Success Principles by Jack Canfield. And there's a section in there that was strictly about recognizing when you are not honoring the other person by constantly having to interrupt. Let them speak. When they're finished, you then chime in your stuff. That it's a two-way street conversation wise. And it took some time to realize that and to work on that, not to realize it. I realized it as soon as I read it,
Right.
but to work on it,
Yeah.
it took some time. And I'm talking a good year of just let people talk and then continue in the conversation wherever it was going.
Right.
Now I find that I'm a lot better at that, but that was definitely the hard challenge
Yeah.
for me. And the next one, I have two, is impatience. Now, I am a different human.
Yeah.
However, there was a time when I was the not impatient with me, impatient with other people. I've moved to a small town. I'm in Kelowna.
Yeah.
People don't move fast here.
No.
So that's coming back in me. I'm having
Right.
those feelings. This it's a struggle where I need to now know this is like a sleepy town.
Yeah.
People aren't here to make moves fast and crush it. And they're here, they move here to chill out and
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I remember sending emails years ago to people that I wouldn't hear back for maybe 2 weeks. So training myself to calm, to say, you know what, everyone works at a different speed. Find the people that work at your speed so you don't
Yeah.
have this anxiety. So that impatience was my thing. I worked on that and I felt it coming back once I
Yeah.
moved out of Toronto,
Of course.
right? Because Toronto's go, go, go. So yeah, the impatience, that's
Impatient.
the second one.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that with us. I know that's always sort of like a bit of a vulnerable question, but I think, especially, I always imagine like if there's a student out there that's listening and they can hear that
Mhm.
adults, see these things in ourselves, then they can feel better about if they also have maybe those not so great thoughts or personality traits that
And
tend
I
to
think
crop
that's a
up.
reminder. Sorry to interrupt you there.
Yeah,
See, I just
no,
did it.
you.
See, I just did it. Arg. Is is it's a reminder for everyone listening. Everything takes time. Everything takes time. We tend to forget that Rome wasn't built in a day.
No.
They had definitely way more patience than our society.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing, is that there wasn't an alternative. That was how it was. There was no, until, new technologies came about. And as they did, by
Mhm.
building big engineering structures like that, the technology did increase and things got faster and better. But now we're just on like a super highway of efficiency slash
Yeah.
fastness.
Well, are we more efficient now?
Debatable.
I think we're in a time where the efficiency that we're supposed to have has been replaced with overwhelm.
Get, mm-hmm,
So maybe
mm-hmm.
that's another conversation or a question you can ask another guest. because we
Yes,
have
I
all these
think,
tools to be
yes,
more quote unquote efficient,
efficient.
but now we have seven tools. Which one do I use? Now I don't know which one to use. I'm
And
going to
now I
try
need to
this one
spend
and then
my
this one.
time
I'm going to
researching those tools to figure out which one is the best for me to use.
for the next 2 months because another tool is going to come out that's going to replace that tool. So you're going to want to see and test that one out.
Efficiency is given way to
The overwhelm
overwhelm.
yeah, is real.
Yeah.
And
Ooh,
I think tying that into the confidence, I think the overwhelm is also affecting the confidence in our dancers.
absolutely.
They're
Yeah.
overwhelmed not just with life, but when they are on the TikTok or the Insta and they're looking at the 100 different accounts that they follow of these incredible dancers globally.
Yeah.
And now there's like, oh my gosh, and there's seven teachers that are all teaching how to do pump turns differently. Which one do I listen to? And all, and but they all have good results. I just don't know what to choose. This book over that book, You Came to Slay, You
Yes.
Came to Slay. I wrote this because dancers, I find, have a tough time thinking things through.
Yes.
And so the book is filled with thought-provoking questions that will help them to take a moment, sit down, and just think about the answer. What do you want in dance? What do you want in life? What was the thing that held you back before? Who are the people that inspire you? What do you think they would have had to do to overcome a challenge? It's all questions. The whole thing, there's tips and there's questions. Answer the question.
It's like a
It's you
workbook.
just it is a workbook,
Yeah.
and it's filled with questions. But I find that people don't take the time to ask questions. They'd rather sit in the noise and
Or just
wait
tell
for
me.
other
Just tell
people
me
to
what to
tell you
do.
what to do.
Yeah.
Tell me how to dance. Tell me what to do. Tell me the steps. And then they struggle when they now have to make a choice. Do you know dancers have a hard time ordering from a menu at
Yep.
a restaurant?
Oh, I've seen it. I've been with those children and I'm like, y'all,
Yeah, it's a hamburger. Just pick one
yeah,
and use your voice and just tell the waiter.
use your voice. That's a whole other thing. Well, it's taking it from the external and focusing it into the internal. It's something
Hmm.
like that forces students, not even students, people in general, to sort of, I call it my robot shutdown, where I have to just like go internal and be like, okay, what do I think? And by slowing down and writing pen to
Yep.
paper in a journal like that, forces them to slow down and tune out the outside noise and tune into themselves, which I think
And
is
that
crazy
it is
beneficial.
so beneficial. And just to teach people or dancers to trust yourself. You have the answers
Yeah,
in you, but there's so much stuff out here and
yeah,
noise and
yeah,
distractions and the overwhelm. Just trust yourself. Take a moment and ask yourself, what do you want? What do you want? Our next generation of dancers is going through that exact same thing in real time. What do you want? And they don't know.
yeah,
I want you to tell me, no, 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 this isn't my journey. This is your journey.
uh,
I went through mine
yeah,
and I'm still going through mine.
100%.
So what do you want? And it's okay to change direction.
Yes,
The quickest way to find out if you're going the right way is to go the wrong way.
yeah, yes,
And then,
absolutely.
oh, that's not where I want to go. Great. Turn
Okay,
around. And now you know that's the way I want to go.
yeah,
But you know what? You're not going to get anywhere if you stand still.
that's right. Then it becomes this, like we've been saying, overwhelm. And when you're in that space, you can't take action. And so you just stay stuck. And even that sort of messy first wrong way, wrong direction action will, even though it can feel like it's not, will be more beneficial for that individual. Because there's always something to figure out, even if it's a this was the wrong way, or this wasn't the right, this wasn't the right path, or I'd like to change my mind. There's always something to be gained from taking action.
We all forget. We forget that we've learned from trial and error. We've
Yes.
learned from mistakes. Failure isn't fatal. Like we get so stuck on, what if I make a mistake? You're not going to die.
Yeah. The stage will not open up and swallow you. Your
It,
parents
it
will not
won't.
leave you at the theater. They will take you home. They
Yeah.
still love you.
What if I forget my dance? What if nobody cares? Nobody will know if you don't show it on your face. If you don't, oh my God, and run off stage, nobody will. The only person that knows your dance is you and your choreographer.
And
That's
even the
it.
choreographer might not remember the whole thing.
Facts. I just did what 7 solos this
Right?
season. I don't remember them all.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that's a whole terrifying thing for them. I spend a lot of time backstage as an MC
Yeah.
and watching the dancers go through it and being that coach before they go on to the stage to let them know it doesn't matter. Just go out there and live your best life. Don't even think of it as competition. Just go out there and dance because you love to dance. That's the whole reason you're here, right?
Yeah. We forget that.
So yeah, just dance. We're interested in watching you perform and love performing as opposed to being a robot because my teacher told me to do these steps. And if I don't do this and blah, 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 and all these, just put that to the side. Why
Yes.
are you here? I
Yeah.
love dancing. Great. Why did you start? Well, I started dancing because I saw somebody that inspired me or my sister danced and it was the best thing ever. Great. Capture those and share that on stage.
Yes.
And I
There you
guarantee you'll
go.
dance a totally different human.
It
So
is.
I am grateful for you to have a podcast like this where people can come on and share their insights and their thoughts and tips and just, shoot the shit.
Yeah. Well,
Can I say
I
that?
yes, I feel it'll be fine. We'll just put a little like
Asterisk.
note. It'll be adult, not very, but a slightly adult language,
Right.
which is totally
Okay, you
yeah.
had another speed question for me.
I
You had a final one
I
because we were
did.
at
Well, I
the
was gonna have a final one.
we were at the penultimate.
We were at the penultimate, which was the ugliest thing, which morphed, which I really loved. So, what has been or what is, and I know there are many. So, is there one lesson that you've learned from your time in dance? Like, what is that quote unquote best lesson, or what is a lesson that has really stuck with you that you've learned because of dance?
Competition is not about what you get. Competition is about who you become.
Ooh, yes.
We get so focused on the stuff, the shiny
The
stuff.
shiny things.
The shiny things
Yeah.
come once you have become a person that warrants receiving the shiny thing. So that's what I've learned over time. The competitions are there to reward you for the hard work that you put in
I,
before you got there. It's
yeah.
not about what you're doing on the stage now. It's
No.
the 5, 6, 7, 8 months of discipline that you had before that event. That's why you get the shiny thing.
Yeah.
But you had to become a different dancer in order to get the shiny thing. So
Ooh,
that's my 2 cents.
I adore that. And I knew I would. I feel so sparkly and energized and encouraged, which I selfishly knew that I would in our conversation, which I'm so excited.
Let's celebrate.
I know, I hope that this opens up a whole bunch of more folks to your platform and who you are and how you sort of operate in the dance world. Because I know folks will become obsessed with you, where can they find you online?
They can find me on my link tree. Just type in Shawn Byfield, link
Perfect.
tr.ee/Shawn Byfield. You can also find me on Instagram, just at Shawn Byfield. Before we go,
Yes.
I wanted to ask, has anyone asked you questions?
I don't think so. I don't know, but you're more than
I'm
welcome to if you like.
because my brain is
Yeah.
just like I keep looking down because I'm thinking. I'm curious, what was it that made you say, I need to create a podcast?
Mm. In the last couple of years, I mean, I've gone through a lot of changes in the last 2 years. I've experienced a lot of challenges, and I kept having the same conversations with peers and colleagues. And then I also saw that these rumblings I would see, sometimes on social media, what people were talking about. And I was like, oh, we're all sort of having these backstage conversations. Well, I think we need to have them on stage with kindness and
Mhm.
compassion and curiosity. because if we want to, it's very be the change you wish to see. I am a part of a community that has, I'm an authority figure. I am in the culture. I can influence the culture. And if I don't think what's happening in the culture is okay or acceptable, I am responsible to influence it in the way that I think is necessary, and also that we're all having these conversations about. So let's stop talking in circles. Let's bring it forward. Let's be the change, because we're the only ones who can do it. As an adjudicator, as a choreographer, as a studio owner, as a dance educator, if I don't want kids to be traumatized by dance, and I don't want to see them a 6-year-old dancing in a bedazzled bikini, like, I have the power to make the change from within. And so, ta-da!
I love that. I love hearing all
Just
that.
a teeny tiny drop in the ocean, but that's how it starts. So
You know what you've done? Again, I'm a deep thinker here. Just listening to all of this, you decided to improve how you communicate. And you took what you love from a studio and put it onto a microphone.
yeah,
And I don't know if you realize, but when you do that, you change something. How you communicate doesn't just change you, it changes everyone around you.
yeah.
You now have given a voice to other people because you've decided to use your voice in a different medium, right? So I think if you haven't received your flowers, I would like to give them to you
Thank
right
you.
now and say congratulations. This is so wonderful.
Thank
And
you. Oh,
what you're doing is great. And I think more people should be paying attention to your podcast and to chime in and to say something, to say, hey, you know what? I have thoughts on that. Maybe I can be a guest. Or, oh, good point there, Leslie. I love that. Or, oh my gosh, I'm going through the same thing. I didn't even know that these other guests were doing this and that or feeling a certain way, right? You've now allowed people to know that it's okay to have feelings that aren't, ooh and ahs and winks on a stage, but the human side is what we connect with the most. So congratulations to you.
thank you. And thank you for being a part of it, Shawn. I honestly, my gratitude is overflowing. I am so grateful. And thank you so much for your time. And I really look forward, obviously, to chatting again, because this was
Can we
so
do a part two?
absolutely
I'm grateful.
100%. I can't wait. I
I am
have
so
I'm gonna
grateful.
have to have
Thank you.
notes of like all the things that we like skimmed and touched on, and then I'm like, okay, we've got like content, we've got ideas for the next time we come together.
Thanks for joining us for this episode of Dancing Through It. Connect with the Dancing Through community over on Instagram and follow me at Leslie Cooney.
Welcome to this week's episode of Dancing Through It. I am your host, Leslie Cooney, and today I am honored to be speaking with Shawn Byfield. Hi, Shawn. Thank you so much for joining us.
Hi. And can we do that again? Because I forgot to put on my jacket.
But you're more than, yes, we can.
I was
Put your
like,
jacket on,
oh
we're
yeah,
ready to rock and
my
roll.
blazer, so that I actually looked the part, I was like, oh, this should probably be on the body.
And this should
Why
be
don't
on
I?
me. Oh, that is the after, that's the after credits bumper blooper right there.